Welcome to STEM Boot Camp. My name is Mark Clytus. I'll be known as Professor Clytus, and my colleague here, Quincy Clytus, is going to be called Professor Q. This program is sponsored through Native Health, and it's going to be a 5-week program where we'll be studying science, technology, engineering, and math. Each week we'll be having materials going over each activity that we'll be doing, and we'll be talking about each particular subject of science, technology, engineering, and math. Today we're going to be talking about the water quality testing, which is solely important about understanding what water is and everything, and the pH scale. And the pH scale, really what pH stands for is called the power of hydrogen. And the reason why the H is capitalized in pH is because it's the hydrogen element that is in water, called H2O, and that's where it tests whether the solution is acidic or basic. And then we're going to talk about that today, and we're going to have my colleague demonstrate under these 3 solutions: water, Gatorade, vinegar, and tomato juice. And we have the litmus paper here, and we're going to simulate about a groundwater source to talk about how you test groundwater as well. I'm going to have my colleague, Professor Q, demonstrate here as he goes through it, and I'll be helping him a little bit as we do the experiment here.
Hello, I'm Professor Q. By the way, science is my favorite thing in school. So, yeah.
So take off the vials.
Take off the vials from the Gatorade, vinegar, and tomato juice.
Be careful not to spill it too as you take them off too, while you do this at home, because it is going to be fun. You'll see. So you take the eyedropper. Go ahead.
This is your eyedropper. Dip it in here.
Okay. And then gently take it out, and then you're going to place a drop.
You're going to place a drop on the litmus paper.
And then you squirt the excess into an empty cup. And then you do each one. I'm going to do each one here. Take vinegar and do it again on the litmus paper here. And you do a small drop on the litmus paper. And then squirt the excess in the cup. Empty cup, that is. And then do the same thing with tomato juice.
Make sure it's clean once you dip it into the stuff.
Into each solution here. Now, what we're doing here is we're showing how the litmus paper changes colors. So in your kit, on this litmus paper, you have a color code here that shows which is acidic and which is basic. The brighter colors are more acidic, and the darker colors here are more basic. So what happened in these 3 solutions, what happened is we had more of red. This is the first one we did. Gatorade is more acidic, but it's a lighter color, as you can see. And then we had vinegar, which is more of like, vinegar is more like a weaker acid, which is a little darker color more than the Gatorade. And really, vinegar is used in a lot of cleaning agents and stuff at home and everything.
Even for Easter.
Yeah, making Easter eggs for dye. And this last one was tomato juice, which was somehow in this paper it was a little bit lighter, but tomato juice is kind of acidic too because of the color red on your
litmus paper
here. And then we forgot to demonstrate that water is more neutral, which is more of like around the number 7 of which is neutral. And he can demonstrate that, or you can do that at home. And what we're doing with this experiment is showing you which solutions are more acidic. And now I'm going to demonstrate while he just does the water here and tell you what kind of color it is. We're going to do a groundwater source solution. And what I want you to do is, if you're at home, take some dirt from home and gently put some dirt into the coffee filter here. Place the coffee filter on top of the cup, and then I want you to take a little bit of your water The eye drop is not going to work for this one because what we're doing here is simulating a groundwater source, like water out of wells. So whatever dirt you have, you pour it in here, and then I want you to take another piece of your litmus paper, like mainly a clean litmus paper, and then dip it in the cup, and then let it see what color it is, and then that will tell you if it's acidic or base, and then you can look at it on your little kit here. And what we're doing when we're simulating groundwater of a well is to see what contaminants, see what's going on in the water before you drink it. You always, drinkable water, you want to be around a neutral at least 7 to maybe 7.5, 6. And really, you can't really tell that when you're drinking liquids. But the main important thing here as scientists, we want to know, is it good quality water that we want to drink or use for our crops or our animals or anything. And I want to talk about how important water is to our native communities. Water is life. That quote is always used a lot in a lot of our native communities, and especially all the demographics across the United States, and how we use water for our communities as well. And it's so important in the human body that we're mostly made up of water here on Mother Earth. And we got to understand that if we do not protect our water resources, then we can mess up our human body. By these experiments, it shows which is acidic, which is basic, and you don't really want to have a lot of acids in your body. You don't want to have a lot of sugars. You don't want to have a lot of base. Normally at home, you can also demonstrate this more using like baking soda, which is used at home for a lot of things for baking. Like you make your fry bread and different stuff like that, or maybe not, but mainly it's in a refrigerator. So what I wanted to talk about also is when you study this and figure out what solutions, you can take it home and mix them and test it and see what happens, and see if you add more water to each of these solutions, how it becomes neutral, and the more you can drink this more. And one thing, when you have a weak acid, you can drink it, and because it's closer to the number 7 on the pH scale. So that's what we're testing today, and I hope you have fun with this. These are the 3 liquids, and please, while you're at home, keep testing it. You have the litmus paper, you have other things that you can test at home, or maybe other solutions. I hope you had fun today, kids, and I hope that if you need anything else, please reach out to Native Health and post on your results onto the webpage and see how it goes. Thank you and have a good day.